Hello and welcome to IGN UK Podcast number 296. My name's Gav Murphy and today I'm joined by...
Snake!
Oh shit.
It's down already.
Okay.
It was bound to happen.
It was such a good idea.
Big Boss!
Okay.
If you're going with Snake, I have to go with something.
We are, of course, talking about Metal Gear this week. Alex, you've just been playing it. We've got these funny hands. Yeah. We've just been having a great conversation about how one would get one up each other's arse.
If you were
But
to.
yeah, I have been playing the game, yes. Now I've scraped the surface.
Yeah.
I am currently 2% into the game, which is not very far.
Yeah.
I'd be a little bit worried if you were already further than that, though.
Yeah,
It would mean you would have been
yeah.
playing it a
So-
lot.
Yeah, especially because you've got 2 emails you haven't answered. So.
Yeah. And 2 kids, I think, as well, on top of that. Doesn't help.
2 hungry kids.
But so it only came out yesterday, so I've literally had a few hours playing it, and it's really, really good. I'm going to talk about the prologue briefly.
Okay.
Lots of people have been talking about it.
Yes.
It is like out there kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it we've seen already around the Phantom Pain reveal. Gosh,
Yeah.
however many years that was.
Yeah.
A lot of that is lifted from the prologue.
Excellent.
And kind of basically what happens from Ground Zeroes to Phantom Pain in the years between.
Right.
I'm keeping it as generic as possible for people who haven't played it.
That's fine.
But there is some bits in there that I would love for anybody to make sense. Maybe it will make sense further into the game. But
Yeah.
there's this is not massive spoilers, but there's a giant flaming whale
Excellent.
Amazing.
that kind of goes through the sky, and this big furry dude who rides a unicorn.
Well, yeah,
sounds
it's
amazing.
obvious.
That's it, right? Yeah.
The whale is Konami. It's being a huge obstacle. Well, this is one of the things I'm kind of afraid of, is because I'm in the group of people who have been watching YouTube videos about the backstories, trying to catch up with all these games, and then all I hear people talking about the prologue is that it is batshit crazy, that it is just absolute insanity, and people who are big fans of the series still don't quite know what is going on.
No, but I think that's apparently the prologue is kind of more old
Abstract?
Metal Gear,
Like, okay.
Right.
and then you get into the game and it's a bit kind of like the new generation because
Awesome.
It's kind of, it serves as a bit of a tutorial for the game,
Yeah.
so teaching you, because a lot of it's sneaking. You're in hospital. That's not a massive spoiler.
Yeah.
And you've got to escape. So it serves as a bit of a tutorial, and then you're given the world to go and explore. But
Cool.
the thing I love
Sounds
about
cool.
it is if you've played either Ground Zeroes, which I absolutely loved. I know a lot of people didn't because it's short, but I just don't think they played it properly,
Yeah.
quite frankly. But there's so much to this game. It's not just like, here's your objective, here you are, go and do it. I was saying to Rory earlier, it's like, well, there's your objective. Nothing else. That's what it gives you. And it's like, okay. And like, so you start riding towards it on your horse, and then it's like, holy shit, there's a patrol coming up, and you didn't see them. So you can either duck down on the side of your horse, and the horse trots along, and they think, oh, there's nobody on it.
Yeah.
Or you can get off, and it's just a full world to kind of explore and do whatever you want.
I like that. That's kind of why, I know we keep talking about it, but we've been playing Heist together, and that's kind of what I really like about Heist. Like, you can just do, not whatever you want, but you can do it in
There's an
the way that you
objective
want
you
to do
need
it.
to
Exactly,
do it,
yeah. But then you do it in the way that you want to do it. I think that's awesome.
It's something that's becoming a little bit more outdated. Like, I think for a while, games were really into hand holding, and people really enjoyed if, you'd get a mission and there would be a constant arrow pointing, telling you which way to go.
Yeah.
And now it feels like Sandbox is really coming back, and people really enjoy having this like open world where anything they want is possible, where they can do one objective through like 17 different ways.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. They're bringing it into Metal Gear.
And the other thing that's kind of cool about it is that, like the first mission proper is that I think there's 5 or 6 objectives, and obviously there are core objectives that you've got to do to finish it. Like find someone. But then there are other secondary objectives which you don't know what they are.
Right.
But, and I've stumbled across a couple of them just by exploring the world. But it's basically resource and stuff like that, which you then ship back to Mother Base, which is a whole new kind of meta game.
Oh, the balloon thing.
The Fulton stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And again, if you play Peace Walker, you'll be familiar with it.
Yeah.
But like, it makes you think like shooting people, like killing people, is not really an option if you want to have a successful Mother Base.
Yeah.
Because everybody that you Fulton back to base improves your ability to
yeah.
R&D new tech and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is literally is this like you've got one eye on right. I've got to shoot that guy or take that guy out.
Yeah.
But one of the missions I had to do was like I was supposed to eliminate the like the Spetsnaz. I can't say it.
You can never say it.
Spetsnaz.
Spetsnaz.
Is that how you say it?
Spetsnaz.
Anyway,
Yeah.
a bad dude.
The baddie.
And well, I thought, well, if I kill him, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
So instead, tranquilized him. He was surrounded by bad guys, but I managed to get him out into the middle of the open, Fultoned him back, and he's currently in the brig back at Mother Base.
Yeah.
But he'll come round with a little bit of persuasion. And he's like a really, really good soldier. So
Right.
if he's on my side, it will improve my defences of Mother Base.
But can he come round?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if it's anything like Peace Walker, yes.
But so what are you doing to make him come round?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Not
that
pissing
far
on
in.
him.
Little dances and stuff.
You started off by peeing on him, and then every day you
Well,
stop peeing on him less
At
till
the
you're finally
minute,
not
he's in
peeing
the
on
brig,
him.
and if I remember rightly with Peace Walker, I think it's like a matter of time until we brainwash them. I
Okay,
think.
right.
But
That's
again,
nice.
like, I haven't got that far.
So not peeing on him.
No pee.
There might be that option. But then again, maybe Snake's got a bionic
Yeah.
penis, and he doesn't. Maybe he pisses oil.
Don't know. I like. Like
Where's
where I've
that
seen-
appendage?
Or that
Yeah.
lubricant.
That
that's-
would have been great.
That's a typo on the console.
Yeah.
itself.
I'm not gonna be able to pronounce it again. I barely was able to do it in the unboxing. Molly Penum.
Anyway.
I quite
Yeah.
like the stuff that we're seeing. Like I've seen loads of like just animated GIFs and little videos and stuff. And because of the way the world is set up, people are getting these cool little stories of their own.
Yeah.
Like I saw Eric Sapp, who's like our graphics guy in the US. Like he posted this awesome little video of like he called in for some supplies and he was just standing there waiting for it. And he's just sort of looking at his horse and he's like, okay, cool. And the supply just drops on the horse's head. Horse is dead.
But that's cool, right?
And he's
Because
just like shit.
in any other game, that would fall down and kind of move to the side,
Exactly,
and it'll be
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
But it's like.
Nope, horse
But
is dead.
it's the same. Like
Yeah.
you know, if you pull in call them the helicopter, it's like well, you're standing where I'm trying to land. It's like get out of the way.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I've
The
seen some really good stuff with the helicopter. I'm not sure if you can do it on the console versions, but you can put custom sound, your own music into
Oh yeah,
the
no,
game.
you can. Yep.
That's
you can,
so cool.
Yeah, so I've seen like loads of people's helicopter music being like different things.
Well,
which is really
you
good.
can certainly equip loudspeakers.
Right. Okay.
I'm currently
yeah.
I'm currently R&Ding loudspeakers for my
Right.
helicopter.
Well,
On the-
what music would you guys put in if you had to choose like one track to be your helicopter music? What would you put in?
Well, if going in,
Yeah.
it'd have to be Ride of the Valkyries.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, Ride of the Valkyries would be amazing.
No, I think it like I'd have, and I had this like I made this awesome little video of like it happened to me when I was playing Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Like my Spotify came on and it was War. Why can't we be friends? It's like as the helicopters come down, I was like, why can't we be friends? I think that'd be,
that
quite
would be
good.
amazing. Actually,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty good. Yeah.
And then the last thing that I think is really, really cool from my brief playtime with it is the
Yeah.
crossover with Ground Zeroes.
Mm.
So any kind of progress or data that you've done within Ground Zeroes
Right.
pulls across, so you can upload your data.
Oh, cool.
So in one of the missions, you get to rescue a VIP in Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
Turns out it's Kojima,
Right.
because you see him on the helicopter.
Yeah.
And now I've got Kojima working in my R&D department on Mother Base, and of course his stats are like through the roof. So
Right.
you get like a kind of a leg up.
So is it worth if you're going to go into it playing Ground Zeroes before?
Well, like if you look at I don't know, I've got about 15 guys on Mother Base at the minute.
Yeah.
All kind of D or E ranks across the board, whereas like Kojima on R&D is like A+.
Right.
You want that man developing
Yeah,
tech
that's a
for
good
you.
point. Yeah.
What would happen? Can you not rescue him? Can he die?
Well, you can fail the mission, but you can go back and try it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because that would really suck.
You
if
know it's not
accidentally
real,
killed
don't
him. Yeah.
I need you to tell me you know it's not real.
I thought the little hands and everything. I thought it was also real.
What'd you get these with anyway? Like I just seen one on my desk and I didn't know what it was from.
So, you did open the box.
I did open this one, but like, what is that version? Is it like a collector's edition?
It's
or
the
something?
Collector's
Collector,
edition.
yeah.
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 I didn't know you could take off the stand though. That's kind of cool.
Why? Because you can actually affix it to your body.
I already did that.
See,
put it up my
I know it's
sleeve
supposed to be
and use it
half
as a
size,
little
but it's
arm.
probably about the same size as my daughter's arm. She would look cool
probably
going
about
into
the same-
school tomorrow with a bionic arm.
It's exactly the same size as my
And an eye patch.
It's the same size as your...
cock.
Is it?
Is it?
So I think that's about right.
Does yours have fingers on the end? Yeah.
I don't think many people would buy
It's like something
that.
from District
Well,
9.
I saw those people. 'Cause I saw your unboxing video. I still didn't look at what it was, but I saw,
that's
I saw
nice.
the comments on it, and the comments were like, "I can't believe the arm's not the same size as an arm." It's like, I can't believe it's like not 1-to-1 scale. What are you gonna do with a giant arm?
Well,
Probably lop off your existing one and stick it on.
they said it was scaled down. I actually thought it was going to be bigger than this. Because, like, during the unboxing, it was like
like it. I
4
think
scale. I
it's
put it up to
cool.
my own arm. And
It's half size.
I have huge hands, though. I have monster hands. Maybe
I
that's
think
why
that's
it's
the thing.
so
Like the
petite.
hands do look small. But anyway, like one last thing.
What do you want?
And I think the thing that is kind of probably going to pitch up to me, because I think if you look at Metal Gear 3, the bosses in that were incredible.
Yeah.
The bad guys in Metal Gear 4, whether you like Metal Gear 4 or not,
awesome.
the bad guys were still amazing.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen of the kind of bad dudes outside of the ordinary soldiers, again, no spoilers.
Yeah.
Really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Like, Kojima knows his shit, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it properly.
I love it. I remember one boss battle I was playing on the GameCube one, and I forget who the boss was I was playing against, but they essentially were able to predict your movements.
Psycho Mantis.
Yeah, and the only way you were able
Rory.
to beat him was to change the controller slots. Like, you had to unplug your controller and put it in a different port.
I like how you
couldn't,
talk about this as if it's
crazy.
like not the thing that everybody talks about. when they
I
talk
don't know.
about
I've never heard
Metal Gear.
anyone else talk about it.
What?
That's why I like it.
That's the biggest Metal Gear moment ever.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it?
That's what I
Okay.
like about you, Rory.
What?
Like stupidity,
dumb.
stupidity masquerading as beautifulness.
Oh, that's nice.
But you look at the
It's a
passion
tombstone.
and the
Yeah, I know exactly. It's
enthusiasm. You
beauty,
cannot fault that.
absolute
Cannot
beauty.
fault that.
I love it.
So anyway, look, did you pick up Metal Gear? Not you, because you've already got it. But if you're listening to this podcast and you picked up Metal Gear, let us know what you think.
And what's the coolest thing you've done? If you got the collect edition, what's the funniest thing you've done with this hand?
Keep it PG.
Probably not
maybe.
photos.
Yeah, maybe not.
IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com.
Excellent. So this week's tip top,
Tip top.
Yeah.
You're up first
I am. So
with a piece of Murray Mint news.
with Bill Murray news, yeah. So this week he's been chatting about his little cameo. So he's going to be in the new Ghostbusters movie as a cameo. We don't quite know what he's going to be, whether or not he's going to be even playing like him, the character that he's been playing. So, or is he going to be playing something completely different? We don't know.
It's going to be a ghost.
That'd be really good. Wouldn't it?
And they've got to zap him.
They got to bust him. Yeah.
But he's not going to be wearing a proton pack.
Right.
So you got to think
Kinda
maybe
sad.
he's not.
There was a rumor going around that he would be playing a psychic that's trying to disprove the current Ghostbusters, like those crew.
That's
I
good.
was just reading about it before. I think it's going to be a reasonably...
It is in the same universe.
But he's not playing...
No, I understand that, but that would be weird if it's in the same universe and Ghostbusters New York or whatever you want to call it are off doing their thing over here. It'd be weird for him to play somebody different.
Unless he's completely unrecognizable.
Yeah,
Maybe.
give him a little beard.
Yeah, like that's
Sorted.
the thing. Like maybe he's going to be a monster or a demon or something like that. Like because they haven't said what he's going to be.
Yeah.
Like, but he was talking to Vulture, I think, about his new film, and he said. It's actually said really cool. So about whether or not he was going to appear in Ghostbusters at all, he said, I thought about it for a very long time, like many, many months. I was seriously thinking about this for years. So this is about like Bok actually being in Ghostbusters if there was ever be a Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Member. It kept eating at me, and I really respect those girls. And then I started to feel like if I didn't do this movie, maybe somebody would write a bad review or something, thinking there was some sort of disapproval on his part. So the reason for him doing the cameo is he didn't really want to come back to Ghostbusters, but he has so much faith and he really likes the people doing the new project that he just thought, well, people are just going to be like, oh yeah, the reason Bill Murray's not in it is because he thinks it's going to be shit. Yeah,
I don't think anyone would have said that.
I don't know, man.
I think the internet would have totally said that.
Exactly, you could be like, see, Bill Murray wanted nothing to do with it. Whereas
Well,
it's
he
like,
hasn't-
No,
no,
he said
yeah.
nothing of the sort.
Exactly.
He hasn't
Yeah.
exactly been in the best films recently, though.
Like what?
What was the one that he was in his last film?
He was in that film where he played someone's neighbor.
Yeah.
It was quite good.
Was it?
I mean, if it didn't have Bill Murray in it,
That's not a good testament
if it
to
didn't
a
have
film that you're
Bill
acting
Murray in
in.
it, it would be shit. Although
Oh, I thought you were going to say it would be good.
he was in
Okay.
Monuments Men, and that was like, if I hadn't have been at the premiere, that I probably would have walked out because that is one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Really?
And he's in that.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's not good.
unfortunately. But yeah, so I'm quite excited to see Bill Murray.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
anything,
absolutely.
even shit films like Monuments.
It's going to be
Men.
hard to beat the Zombie Land.
Oh yeah.
Zombie Land? Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Zombie
yeah,
Land appearance. That
That's
was
a really
still
good
like
cameo.
the hands down greatest cameo ever.
And if people have never seen Zombieland, you just wrecked it for
I've
them.
just ruined it.
So that's
So
good.
what?
What's the statute of
When does spoiler-
limitations?
Exactly.
I
That's
think
been
you're
out for a
right. I wouldn't
very
be
long
pissed off
time.
for that. That's
Okay.
fine, yeah. Alex, what's your tip top?
Well, it's both happy and sad,
Okay.
and a little bit kind of bloody.
So
but
sappy.
Hannibal finished this week.
Okay.
Season 3, like finished for good actually, because
Yeah.
obviously it's not being renewed.
No.
Or at the minute, who knows whether it will be picked up.
That's kind of stopping me from getting into Hannibal a little bit.
So have you not seen anything?
I've seen the first 3 episodes. And I liked it.
You should absolutely watch them.
Yeah.
Because it is like incredible television.
Okay.
Like unlike anything else. Like I'm astounded with some of the stuff they get away
Really?
with. Like it's horrific. It's properly horrific and gruesome and
You're not exactly selling it to.
no, but like that's.
Is there a narrative,
Sold
or
it
is
to
it just
me.
weird like beatings and?
But you're watching a
Dismemberment.
TV program about
Yeah.
a cannibal and like the inner kind of the dark thinkings that goes on between him and he's not just the only bad guy. Again, no spoilers, but you know there's a lot more to it than just
Right, yeah.
good guy chasing bad guy.
Okay.
Way more to it than that. And this finale, like the finales, like season 1 was good, season 2 was like epic, but
Yeah.
season 3 was just like holy shit.
Really?
So there is like a conclusion, like a solid conclusion, or does it kind of linger on for future seasons?
See, this is what stopped me from getting into it.
see.
Because I did the same thing with Deadwood, and Deadwood ends. A lot of people say that Deadwood ends like cuts off really well. It does not. Deadwood ends on like this cool bit where something cool happens, a new character comes into it, and you're like, sweet, this is going to be good. Nothing ever again.
Nothing.
So it's like, So this is what stopped me from getting
So-
into Hannibal.
It's a cliffhanger,
Okay.
Ah.
Oh man.
quite literally.
Oh. That's the thing. I really, really want to watch it because I liked everything.
But it could finish there,
Okay.
but it equally couldn't. But that was the same with season 2 though.
Did they know when they were making this series that they were going to
I
end?
don't think they did. I thought
Okay,
that was.
right.
I thought it was a bit of an
that-
abrupt.
Like we
Right.
were.
Yeah.
No, but there was at least a couple of episodes out there when
Right. Okay.
it came out.
I think
as
you're right.
well.
Actually, yeah. And plus, they
So-
probably would have been making it with the intention of it going somewhere else anyway. I
Yeah,
suppose.
and like I say, like with season 2, it could have quite easily finished at the end of season 2, and that would have been it.
Yeah.
So it made kind of perfect sense. And depending where, like, if they would have stopped this episode at a certain point, you'd have thought, that's it.
Yeah.
But then something right at the very end, you go,
Did he eat
You might
someone?
have convinced me.
you should totally watch
I
it.
think you're going to go.
Like,
go
you
to
would
yeah.
love it.
Okay.
Because it's,
Gillian Anderson's in it, right?
yeah.
And she basically plays Scully. Is that right?
No.
Oh, I've been given false information.
Oh, well.
Because I'm really into the X-Files at the moment. Someone was like, "Oh, you should watch it. Gillian Anderson's in it. She's basically playing Scully."
Wait, it's the same person, but like, I don't think the characters have much in common.
Right. Okay.
personally.
Yeah.
Is it on Netflix or how would
No,
I?
I don't
watch
think it is.
How are you watching it? Is it on on TV?
It's just been on telly. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. It's on one of the skies. I can't remember. If it's well, I can't remember.
It's in the sky. Just look for
It's,
it.
it's
the
on,
cloud.
it's on Sky Go. So, but I don't
Okay.
know what channel. Whether it's Atlantic or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think I have
You should
Sky.
totally watch it.
I'm gonna check it out.
I'm
gonna go for it.
Yeah, see what you think.
Awesome.
Like Creeper got me into it.
Yeah.
But like everything from the production to like the audio is incredible.
Right.
It is a bit wanky. But it's quite good.
I'm going for it.
Like sound effects, like you get when he's biting into
It's
people.
like,
you know,
yeah.
Well, that was yeah. Was
No,
that the
no,
thing,
no,
like-
it's
Like you know
just-
the noise they make in the adverts when the people eat Pringles,
Yeah.
and it's like that.
It's not. I didn't mean that. At all.
No, yeah,
it's like
he knows.
I know, but that's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like Silent Hill. The
Yeah.
soundtrack for Silent Hill was just kind of like
Oh, right.
grating noises and
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
ugh. It's all kind of
One of
that
the
kind
reasons I
stuff.
stopped watching it was because I just hated Lawrence Fishburne in it. It seemed like his main thing to be was just like he was only in it so Hannibal could invite him round and feed him bits of human and be like, "Oh, how are you enjoying your chicken?" It's like it's human. It's totally human.
Chuckle,
we know it's
chuckle.
human. It's not funny anymore. He's been around it every like how many times has he
But
eaten
he's
with
a
Hannibal?
cannibal.
Yeah, I know that, but
Everything he eats is human.
I know that.
Cannibals
but,
can eat other things than our.
But just
Well, he
having,
doesn't.
Lawrence
okay.
Fishburne around there, like, had Lawrence Fishburne around his house for
Let's
dinner
have
all
a
the
dinner
time.
guests.
Not just
It's
Larry
just
Fishburne.
like exclusive to him.
All right, well, I'll have a go then. Rory, what's your tip top?
The next bit
news?
of tip top news is the Halo 5 opening cinematic. Now, this was just released this
Also
week.
known as the new SSX game.
Yeah, exactly. Spartan SSX.
Yeah.
I know some people have a problem with cinematic trailers because it can kind of give like a false impression of what the game's going to be like. But we've seen so much
but
footage.
you know what Halo's
exactly.
going to be.
We've seen so much footage from like what the game's going to be like that I'm totally okay with the cinematic trailer now. It's just upped my hype levels, and it's like
It's going to be nothing like the game.
well, they did kind of include some of the game's mechanics, like. In the animations, they were like
Running and
using the
shooting.
jetpack,
Yeah.
slamming down, and using some of the cool.
But in
abilities and
terms of
stuff
the
like that.
pacing, and
Oh
the
yeah, it's gonna be
tempo
way
of it,
slower. If
'cause
you just
it's
slow
so
that trailer
fast.
by 50%, it
Yeah.
would have been an accurate representation
Because,
of Halo.
like-
This used to happen to me with Halo all the time, where I'd be like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be so good," and then I went just play, and just like, "Oh no, you're just running around shooting people." That's what it is.
and also
The
like
story's
jumping
good.
really slowly.
Yeah. The same thing happened with Bioshock Infinite though. Like you watched all the like story and stuff and all the trailers for that. I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Then you start playing and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, it's just a shooter. I'm
Yeah.
running around shooting people constantly. Like,
Bioshock Infinite was better than the original Bioshock, though, I thought. Because
they're both on a par, I think.
I stopped playing Bioshock because I was
Did you?
killing so many splicers.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were called.
Yeah.
But Infinite I finished.
Okay.
Just because the world was incredible.
Yeah, that's the thing. The world's incredible. You start looking around and just like, nope, gotta kill these guys now.
Did you not like the whole like setup and backstory of Rapture? And
Yeah, I loved it, but like if they
found it,
made
like-
it,
That is true.
I'm
Towards
like,
the end, you
a-
are just
a-
running around killing
Exactly.
shooting
It's
stuff.
just like if it was a third shorter, I would have.
okay,
been
Yeah.
well
I never
up for it.
completed it, so I was just
There
like
you go.
got the initial like love
Yeah.
blinded by the ideas.
Yeah, Rapture
Yeah.
was incredible. Yeah.
It was insane idea. But anyway, back to Halo 5. Like, what do you guys feel? Did it not kind of spark up any excitements for the franchise? I know you guys are primarily
Nothing.
PlayStation fans.
Not-
Gav's
so-
staring daggers into me right now.
So it's not true. Like I'd be well up for it, but it's just like I thought. Look, it was a good trailer, but I'm not like, hell yeah, I need to buy Halo.
I totally am. I got really excited.
You were like that before this trailer though.
Yeah, but now it's like just reignited the Halo
Now
fire.
I feel like that more.
Yeah, exactly. Even crazier. I'm so on board. I can't wait.
It'd be interesting to see like how it, because obviously this is showing off like the Spartans and Spartan Lock and stuff like that.
Yeah.
See if it feels any different from like playing Master Chief, for example, or whether it is just the
I
same
reckon it
game
won't.
that's reskinned.
Well, because obviously you'd be playing as like Locke and Master Chief,
Yeah.
and I assume it's just going to be maybe a different visor vision. It's probably going to be very similar mechanics.
But
Like,
that's,
you wouldn't even
but
notice
Yeah,
if you hadn't been
that
told.
but that cinematic made it feel like it was running at the pace of Call of Duty, where it's like bang, bang, bang,
Oh,
real
yeah.
quick, and that's not how Halo unfolds.
No, it's not.
The other problem, and it's a personal thing, like I find the alien character design just a bit weak.
Really?
Yeah.
But there's variety, especially now with you've got the Prometheans who are kind of the ancient.
They look
alien
quite
race.
cool actually. Yeah.
They're the ones that kind of like glow orange, and they're
Right.
like these ancient defenders of the universe. They're really really cool, and like the way when they killed, they kind of dissolve and like just erase from the universe. Like they're pretty interesting. I know people can get tired of the Covenant and those the guys with the energy swords and
Whatever happened to the Flood?
the Flood. Oh, don't trip me on this. I played all the Halos and I've already forgotten pretty much everything.
That's because the story doesn't matter in Halo.
It's a bit
Like,
weird. Well, no, it mattered in
just
4.
shooting
It
stuff.
mattered in 4. 4 had a great story. I don't think you guys played it, but it had a fantastic story, and everyone really enjoyed it. So that's
Everyone.
what everyone. That's a fact, sir. That's a
Sweeping
fact.
statement.
I think it's gonna be great.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Well, I like that you're excited by it. Like your passion excites me.
I think Gav's passion is me.
Yeah,
and then
it is.
my passions are just everything.
Yeah.
And then we just feed off
Maybe
each
that
other.
should just be your tip top every week. It's just Rory.
Rory.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So my next tip top is I just finished Silicon Valley season 2. Did you guys watch that?
Nope.
You should. And this is why you should watch it.
Okay.
What are you going to say?
It's got the guy in it that I love. I just turned my phone off as well, so I can't Google it.
It's got a man.
It's got a man.
Which
It's gonna
guy
drive
do you
me
love?
Crazy. He appears in Jake and Amir videos because that's where I know him from. But then
Okay.
I also, oh gosh, he's gonna love him.
Is he the main guy in Silicon Valley?
I don't think so. Thomas Middleditch.
Dude, I don't know his name.
You know what I'm talking? Oh,
That sounds like you've just made it up.
no, it's a real person.
Yeah, again,
I don't know
let's
who-
have, let's
I
have
don't
a
know
look
who
at it.
plays
But
him.
yeah, I've been watching. I was a huge fan of the first series, and if you don't know what it is, it's basically about this a bunch of like nerds who leave this huge tech company to start their own little startup in
Yeah.
Silicon Valley, and it's
Yeah.
basically like the actual thing that they're doing. I was explaining to my girlfriend last night, and like when you Oh yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, he's brilliant. He's the main guy. Yeah.
Oh, he is the main guy.
He's the main guy.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
I was explaining to her last night. She was like, "Oh, we were on the plane back from holidays." She's like, "Oh, what are you watching?" And I was like, "Oh, Silicon Valley." And she was like, "Oh, what's it about?" I was like, "Oh, it's about this like tech startup people." And she was like, "Oh, what's the company that they're running? What do they do?" I was like, "They have discovered a form of compression that's lossless, and they're trying to like make that into a platform." She's looking at me going, "That's a comedy show. What are you talking about?" Like,
that is a hard sell, right there.
It is a hard sell.
If you were writing for a TV listings mag, it's like, oh my god.
That's the kind of thing would go over so many people's heads, and then like Bear Park would hear it and be like, "Lossless compression, that's a good one." Like,
but that's the thing, like it kind of, I really respect the fact that it's not like, you know, they're not basically trying to, we're not making a new phone or something like that.
They didn't make an app or something.
Yeah, they're doing something super, super specific. Because, and that's like kind of, that's kind of like the ethos of the entire show. Like, they're not stupid. It's not like Big Bang Theory where like the sort of punchline to a joke will be like Oculus Rift or virtual reality or something like that. They talk about things that we know about because we're nerds, but in a really like interesting way, or just exactly like we would talk about it. So it's not just like the butt of the joke is we're nerds. It's like, no, we're nerds and this is our world and this is the stuff that goes on.
It sounds really cool. It's a show I've been meaning to get in for a while, but I didn't actually know the narrative. It sounds really cool.
It's super funny. The soundtrack is really, really good. So it's Mike Judge, the guy who did Beavis and Butthead, but forget that. It's more like Office Space, which he also did, and that's really, really good. Cool. And it kind of feels like that, and all the characters in it are just really, really good. The through line story of the second season was a bit weak because like basically what's happening every episode is you have like Hooli, who are like basically like Google, and they're like who everyone used to work for, and then they left them.
Yeah.
But you have this like weird sort of mental guy who's running the company, and he's like dogging them at every turn, and basically he's trying to like make his own lossless compression and stuff like that throughout the thing. But then I know it sounds mental, but then but then the thing with the season 2, the only rubbish thing was every episode it seemed like something else would happen, and it wasn't just like them trying to work towards something. It was like it would be an episode, and then it'd be like, oh, there's a new problem now.
Right.
And then
just like bombardment.
Yeah, and I kind of like felt like it got a bit sort of much after the end because it was like they're just dealing with new problems every single episode, and I kind of want them to just get on with it, and I want the actual funny bits in the storyline to be them dealing with what they're meant to be doing, which is creating this lossless compression thing.
Yeah.
Is this lossless compression over 2 whole episodes? Seasons.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
So the whole premise is just lossless compression. Right.
It's not.
Well, it's obviously the characters and the adventure. It's not just them at a computer.
No. Like they've come up with this idea, and it's them basically going, right, what are we going to do with this idea? Like they're trying to make it into a company, basically. So that's kind of where they're going with it.
So,
but I know it's a hard set.
How would this finish for you in a satisfactory way? Would they actually invent lossless compression, and that's it? Everyone's happy, and off they go.
Well, they kind of have.
Oh.
But it's just basically they don't have a way of implementing it into like a platform or something like that. So people are trying to buy that.
God.
You know what would be the coolest
Imagine
thing?
trying to explain this to someone that you want to have sex with. Because that's what that's what I was doing with my girlfriend. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm never having sex ever again.
The coolest thing would be when it's like globally accepted. That's like the last episode, and it's streamed in lossless compression. Like you can watch it super high quality.
That'll be good.
Like 8K or something.
If you're like,
Again, it's not real.
Well, that's true.
Well, to find out whether or not, I know, like I maybe haven't done the best way of explaining it, but if you Google Silicon Valley like dick algorithm on YouTube, in the final episode of season 1, they basically have given up on everything, and they have to present this big pitch to this like room of like thousands of people, and they're just like, we're never going to do it. Like even if we gave everybody in the room hand jobs, like that's the only way we could possibly like get this pitch through. And they're like, well, we couldn't even do that feasibly. They're all nerds, like maths nerds. They're all like, well, actually, how many people are there? And they start working out. And it's this amazing scene where they all work out how they could give a hand job to the entire room in a certain amount of time. And it's just really funny. Okay. It's basically what the show does perfectly.
Okay. Not very Big Bang Theory at all.
It's not at all. No. Big Bang Theory is a pile of balls. But it's really good.
Well, the last item on the tip-top list for this week's podcast is the McDonald's are doing all-day breakfasts.
What?
Yes, so this is actually going to be only in the US originally, but as of October, you'll be able to get your McMuffins at night, people. Imagine it. Imagine.
Wait, well,
the
it's not
world
when
that
it's
we'll
not
live
coming.
in.
It's not coming to the UK.
I don't think so. Not originally. It's launching in the US
Oh, okay,
to start.
right, yeah.
And then maybe widespread.
Yeah.
And that doesn't bother me because the breakfast items at McDonald's are my least favourite. What I would rather have is a quarter pounder with cheese at 7 a.m.
This is it. I want the reverse. I
do
want my
not.
McMuffins at night and my quarter pounders at 7 in the morning.
You've gone insane.
This is the chaotic world.
A McDonald's breakfast when you're hungover and
No,
you
you
have to
could-
travel somewhere is really good.
You've got to have proper sausage, proper bacon, not like.
But if you have to, this is the thing. If you have to travel somewhere,
You're on the road.
You're
You
on
want
the
your
road.
McMuffin
Like, I
and
only ever eat McDonald's.
hash brown?
Like I can only because I'm a fat guy. I have horrible guilt after eating McDonald's, like fat person guilt.
Oh, God, I
When-
don't.
if I eat it, then I'll think about it for the next 4 days. Like,
Really?
you fat piece of shit, you fucking had a McDonald's. Like yeah, like I have that all the time. But I'm bigger than you, so I've had to deal with this my whole life. But but so the way that I can trick my brain into it being okay is being like, oh, you're traveling. It's okay. It's like.
What, sat on a train?
No. Like if I'm
Driving,
traveling
yeah.
somewhere, if I'm going like on a road trip or something like that, I'm driving in the morning. Like
You know,
Right.
you
like-
gotta go to the airport for like a 7 a.m. flight. You're
Yeah.
like kind of hungry, but you don't know what to do.
Exactly,
I'll just
yeah,
like go
yeah.
through drive-through, get a McMuffin, get a hash brown.
It's the same like when we were
You're on
coming
the
back
road,
from
it's like-
Gamescom. We were just like, I would never buy Burger King, but me, you, Krupa, Luke, and Beer Park all walked past Burger King, and Krupa kind of looked and was just like,
None of us wanted to
I know,
say it.
we
We were
were-
all kind of like looking over.
we were
it.
like, oh yeah, we should probably get some food, right, guys? Yeah. And then we were like, oh, what's there? Oh, this schnitzel over there, or. I mean, there is a Burger King, and everyone's like, yeah, I guess let's have a look around first at Burger King. And then Krupa was just like, does everyone just want to go to Burger King? Because I really do. And we were like, yeah,
like, yeah,
I kinda
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Well, it was after like 4
Like-
days of like pork knuckle and
Exactly,
schnitzel
yeah.
and stuff like that. It's like,
But I think like ex-smokers do it as well. Like you see a lot of like my friends who used to smoke will smoke when they're on holiday, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm allowed to smoke. I'm on holiday."
That's an awful idea.
It's a crazy
ridiculous
idea,
thing,
but
yeah.
like I know so many people who do it, and it's the same with like.
but that's like, I'm allowed to eat McDonald's, I'm driving.
No. It's almost like because I'm traveling. But then,
if
do you do
you-
that? You must do that when you're on holiday, though. You'd be like, I'm eating whatever I want. I'm on holiday.
Yes.
But cigarettes are
Yeah.
a bit different.
Cigarettes are different.
Surely
Rory.
that's like an
You shouldn't
alcoholic
smoke
being
at
like, I'm
all,
on
ever.
holiday, gonna have some tequila. Like, that's fine,
I don't
guys.
think it's the same level. It's like
close,
drugs
it's
and
Like,
alcohol.
yeah, heroin, meth,
yeah.
everything is on the table, yeah.
I'm in Turkey with the family. I'll just shoot up here in the hallway. It's fine.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
So why is that your tip top?
Because it's amazing. Who doesn't want to? I already expressed my wants for a McMuffin.
Okay.
Look, I don't. The only time I
Break it
don't
down.
want a McDonald's breakfast is in the morning. Ironically,
Right.
because I never get up early enough, and I always feel sick when I get up in the morning. I don't know.
Are you pregnant?
Rory.
I did Google it at one point. I was like,
Am I pregnant? I love you, Rory.
I Googled morning sickness because I was like,
What did you think was going to come up?
I don't know. It's like,
Morning sickness in men.
I didn't know it was a thing in pregnant women at the start. So it was
What?
like morning sickness, and I googled it. and It was like morning sickness symptoms, and I was like, oh, I must have this. And I clicked on. It's like you're pregnant, and I was like,
You
don't
didn't
think
know
I have
morning
this.
sickness was the thing?
No.
Like, how long ago was this?
I was like
The other day.
like 16, so I didn't know. Yeah,
Okay, let's move on. let's move on.
breeze past that.
All right.
We're moving on this week to shit shop. We've had the tip top. Now it's time for the shit shop. So my first one is, I guess, kind of serious. So serious hats on, everyone. So the author. Oh God, what's his name? Anthony Horowitz. Yeah. Was quoted, and I saw it absolutely kicking off yesterday on Twitter. I was on my way home from holiday. Basically said that everyone's talking about who's going to be the next James Bond, and this guy Anthony Horowitz, who like writes all the James Bond books now.
I love Anthony Horowitz. He's like
Really,
one
yeah.
of my favorite authors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he said that he didn't want Idris Elba, who is front runner in everyone's kind of mind. Everyone's kind of decided that should be the next James Bond. Didn't want him to play James Bond because he said he was too street. Now, people kicked off with this because basically saying that was like veiled racism.
Yeah.
I'm saying like, no, like too street meaning black. It's like when, racists say urban and instead what they actually want to say is black people.
Yeah.
And people kicked off with this. But actually, if you go back and read the article, what he's actually saying is he's talking about like James Bond is like suave and, that's the kind of person that he wants to play it. And he goes on to name Adrian Lester, who is a black guy and was in Hustle.
Yeah.
And he was like, if like that's actually his main thing. He's not saying like, it wasn't even talking about race at the time. Right. He named Adrian Lester, and then when people said, oh, what about Idris Elba? He's like, no, he's a bit too street for me.
But taken out of context, you know, that's all people hear.
It's completely been taken out of context though, because instead of people, I saw articles from people like absolutely lambasting him, calling him a racist, who didn't even mention Adrian Lester.
Really?
Like,
that's outrageous.
People literally haven't even read the article. They've read a tweet or they've read something else too street, and they've gone, right, I'm writing my opinion piece on this.
Yeah.
Like, whether or not it's veiled racism, I don't kind of know. Like, to me, it's more like classism that he's kind of doing, because... Yeah. And I think, like, I mean, he's wrong because, you know, Idris Elba's a, like, actor.
I was going to say, he's an actor.
Like,
yes.
you know, he's played, you know, Norse god, so he can play James Bond. That's wrong. But I think the thing that really annoyed me when I kind of looked at it, because I was like, too street, I was like, that's ridiculous. I can't believe he said that. Yeah. Read the article, which actually Duncan Jones, the director, had tweeted an article going, guys, I don't know why everyone's kicking off about it. He said this, like, which is classist, but he's not a racist. Like, he's not saying that he doesn't want a black person to play James Bond. Yeah. What he is saying is that particular black person he doesn't think is good, which is, I think that's fine, really.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
But nobody has said this. Like, it kind of annoyed me.
It's just the nature of the internet, you know? They like to latch on to things. And it's obviously, you know, if someone reads that, that's the headline that they're going to promote. That's the word they're going to spread, and it just snowballs and gets completely out of proportion. Because I was the exact same as you. I saw that statement.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, that's not okay. That's very offensive. But then, of course, then you read the full article and you realize that in the correct context, you know, it wasn't a malicious thought at all. It was...
Yeah, for me, Idris Elba is a bit too rough to play the part. It's not a colour issue. I think he's probably a bit too street for Bond. Is it a question of being suave? Yes.
Yeah.
So there we are.
But like you said, I'm pretty sure he could play suave.
Yeah.
But hey.
But that, I thought, was a bit of a shit shop.
Yeah.
Now, did you include this next point?
I didn't.
I did.
That's good.
You included it and you put my name next to it.
Because I think it's something we need to discuss.
I didn't want to talk about it.
Well, that's what you said in the morning meeting. You said in the morning meeting you didn't want to talk about it, so you knew I was going to put it in the podcast. So secretly, I think
I didn't know I was going to be on the podcast.
So, Rory, you had a tattoo done at Notting Hill Carnival.
I did.
Of course he did.
I did. It is not a real tattoo. I feel like we should clarify that immediately.
Why is it still on your arm? Notting Hill Carnival
it
was
won't come
last
off.
week.
I've tried. It's coming off a bit at the bottom.
Okay, so
Saturday.
some people are just listening to this, so maybe
Sunday.
you want to describe it.
So I was at Notting Hill Carnival on Sunday. First time ever going.
Describe what it looks like.
The tattoo says, every can counts. It's got little recycling arrows where they all lead to the next arrow.
It's a message with meaning. I like that.
Yeah.
So
I was getting some good looks at the gym. People were like, hey, that bro's responsible. He's caring for the environment.
Explain how you came to have this.
So you haven't actually heard.
No.
Right, because I didn't tell you. So at the event, there were people promoting recycling, as you can tell. So in one of the streets, they were giving away these green bags. And the whole idea was that if you pick up 3 cans and put them in the green bag, then you can go to this stall and get a free can. Which is
beer.
Which was like amazing. So we're like, we're totally going to do this. Most people were just going around and picking up cans from the street and putting them in the bag. We all just decided to just drink 3 cans and then put them in the bags because we didn't want to.
That's nice.
Yeah. So being still recycling.
Yeah.
But
I think
by
the
the
point
time
was to help clear up the bigger environment rather than just your own mess. Though,
right. Well, I am a part of the bigger mess. Trust me.
Yeah.
But the whole point being, by the time we finished the 3 cans, we were quite far up the carnival. So then we had to go all the way back down. We kind of got lost.
Oh my God.
More cans were had in the process. So by the time we actually got to the booth, we had bags full of cans. We were all a little bit drunk. And I kind of went up. And the whole idea is that you get a tattoo about recycling, fake tattoo, and then you get to show it and you get your free can. That's like the whole idea. I was quite drunk at the time.
How many free cans did you get?
I got 2 because we had a whole lot. I was in a group as well, so we all had like.
Have you got another one?
No, I only got one tattoo. You don't want to know where the other one is. So I was quite drunk when I went up to the booth. So I think you're supposed to get them on like your hand and your forearm, and I was like, I want it on my bicep. So I got like a tattoo on my bicep and got a free can, and
it's quite big.
And it's not coming off.
It's quite big. No.
So what do they put it on with?
Like ink pen. Like they just went in and out of my skin really fast.
What?
Yeah. Of course not. It's a big tattoo. They put it on with water.
He's like, yeah, it really hurt.
Cost me 20 quid as well.
It's a real tattoo.
That'd be hilarious though if you just like, oh yeah, like you just get this like fake tattoo and it's actually turned out to be a real tattoo.
Well, that was the worst part, was that the next morning when I woke up, I kind of like leaned over and there was 0.5 of a second where I had forgot that I had gotten the tattoo. And I was just like, oh my, it's fine. Like freaked out and then just calmed right down.
Awesome.
And now I just live with it. It's just part of who I am now. I feel like I'm doing my part for the environment. I'm spreading the message.
4 days, 5 days after the event, still there, still looking strong.
It's, I know. Well, it's only going to get gnarlier as well. It's going to start peeling and looking just like
just have a shower, man.
Mesh. Nah.
No.
I'm trying to keep that carnival scent going, that party atmosphere. Yeah.
All right. Well,
glad we talked about that.
It looks terrible. So, get something else. Okay. Next bit of shit shop news. Andrew Garfield this week in promoting his new film 99 Homes, I think, which actually looks really good. He's been talking about playing Spider-Man and how he's not Spider-Man anymore.
He's been talking a lot about it recently.
Yeah, and he's saying, well, I guess like everyone's going to be asking him about Spider-Man. It's the first film since then. First film since Spider-Man he's got, everyone's going to be talking about it, which is a bit of a drag for him, I'm sure, because the film actually looks really, really good.
Right.
I really want to see it. But yeah, he said a bunch of stuff. Like one of the things basically saying like, you know, he said like not necessarily that Amazing Spider-Man 2 needed saving, but he was like, I just wasn't the person to save that particular Spider-Man.
Well, he said he was one of the people that was campaigning for it to be have the rights go back to Marvel and have it
Yeah.
included in the cinematic universe. But
Exactly,
I personally, I
yeah.
love Andrew Garfield. I think he did a fantastic job. I'm one of the people that really enjoyed The Amazing Spider-Man, both of those films.
I enjoyed him, but the films are poor.
I think that's
like
it. Especially the second one. Creeper and I went.
It was a bit messy. It was a bit of a
terrible,
messy
yeah.
film.
Terrible.
Yeah. It's not.
like it.
It's just. I think it's not fun. Like he as Spider-Man is brilliant.
great,
I don't
right?
think you could cast. There's nobody in my mind that you could cast that'd be better Spider-Man than him.
Yeah.
I thought his Peter Parker wasn't very good, but that's not his fault really because he's too hot to play Peter Parker.
think
I
so?
think. Yeah, he's way too hot to play Peter Parker. And
About
he's just too
Tobey
cool.
Maguire.
But also like yeah, Tobey Maguire's not hot. That's good. But like
He's attractive in his own way.
I don't
What?
think so.
Tobey Maguire?
Tobey Maguire looks like he's been hit with a shovel. But
Poor Toby.
He played a really good Spider-Man, I thought, Andrew Garfield, but, you know, his Peter Parker is just a little bit too cool.
Yeah.
But he talked about, like, you know, being in Spider-Man, like, in the expectations, almost a bit like being in prison. But this is a really cool thing about talking to him about, like, pressure to get Spider-Man right. He said, the pressure to get it right, to please everybody, it's just not going to happen. You end up pleasing no one or everyone just a little bit. Like, yeah, that was good. Now, like they're saying about like films being mass marketed, he says we want 50-year-old white men to love it, gay teenagers to love it, bigot homophobes in middle America to love it, 11-year-old girls to love it. He said you're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, and he says like, and he just said, you know, he didn't know it at the time, but the job was beyond him completely.
Right.
And yeah, Spider-Man. He said it's actually a really cool thing, which actually makes sense. Is like, and it's something that is really integral to like the Peter Parker character. He creates this symbol that is way above anything anybody would have expected. Like he creates Spider-Man, and that's what Spider-Man is in real life as well. Spider-Man is Spider-Man, and it's not Andrew Garfield. It's just this character who everybody has their own ideas of what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And he was like, he just unfortunately wasn't the person to bring in.
That's quite sad.
Yeah, it is really
I think
sad.
If he hadn't been cast in The Amazing Spider-Man, he easily could have. Because imagine if he was in the Marvel universe.
Oh,
you
man,
know,
that's what I was just thinking. Like, imagine
Yeah.
him like playing off like Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like that.
Oh,
as
it would have been
Spider-Man.
fantastic. I don't know about Tom Holland. He could be equally fantastic. Like we haven't really. Well, I haven't really seen a lot of his work yet. So I'm still excited for it. I'm
still excited for it, but I think there's always going to be that thing in the back of your head. Like, I mean, not to the point where I would let it get to me like the way that people have let Edgar Wright leave in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But like, I think it'll always be in the back of my head when you're playing, be like, imagine, because like, you know, if Civil War is going to be how we think it is, it's going to spend a lot of time in the Spidey suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to be him like tooling around as Peter Parker a lot. It's going to be a lot in the Spidey suit. And you think that'd have been perfect for Andrew Garfield because he would have been in the Spidey suit all the time.
You know, like we said,
Yeah.
we don't know what this guy's take is going to be.
Exactly.
Might
Of course.
be.
There
Last
we are.
piece of sad news.
Really sad, like really, really sad. So on Monday, Wes Craven died,
Oh.
which is really, really sad.
How old was he?
He wasn't that old. He wasn't old enough that he should be dead.
Yeah.
But he was like super ill, and Did you watch any Wes Craven films on Bank Holiday Monday? Did you show your daughters
I was going to say.
Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time?
Well, firstly, I've only got one daughter.
Oh,
but
yeah, of
thanks
course,
to-
yes.
And no, I didn't watch any of those.
Rory
films.
Jr. is a boy, actually. Gav.
I watched Scream with a bunch of friends. I was on holiday in France, so we decided to
Scream's a
watch
great
Scream.
film.
Yeah, and you forget just how really good that is. Like, but also, like in my head, like Scream is really funny, but I think I confuse Scream with Scary
Scary
Movie quite a lot.
yeah. I've done that before as well.
But Scream is a funny film. But then like that opening sequence of Drew Barrymore, like that is brutal.
Yeah.
Like absolutely brutal. And we were watching it in this like house in the middle of like south of France with no other houses around us for miles.
Yeah.
And a huge storm just overhead. Like we had to actually stop watching the
God.
film because like lightning was like hitting like 2 miles away and stuff like that. So we had to like, turn all the lights off and stuff.
You're freaking out.
Yeah, really freaking out. But like the world and stuff that he built there. I haven't watched the Scream TV show, but I can't imagine it's as good.
No.
But
It's hard to live up to that.
But like, remember like Nightmare on Elm Street? Like,
So do you know I've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
Really?
I'm not a big horror fan.
But still, that's a pretty
No, I know.
essential.
I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
We should do something with that. Like, there's a couple of people on the team actually. We should do something, maybe like a feature or something
Like
like
the
that. Like,
classics.
not even classics, but like, you know, I Have Never or something like that. Because like, Krupa's never seen a Fast and Furious film, which really does my head in.
I've never
because I
seen
love
it
them.
either.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
You would love them.
You
Would
would
I?
love them,
You
yeah.
would totally love them.
I generally think the last 3 Fast and Furious films are better than most Marvel films. And I've said that on the podcast so many times, and I get shit for it every single time. But I don't care. I will keep saying it.
I think that's quite a bold statement.
That
if
is
I'm
quite a
honest.
bold
Really?
Yeah.
But think about like the rubbish Marvel films like Thor 2 and
Oh,
stuff
I
like
know,
that.
I
Some
know
bad
that.
ones,
Okay,
but-
right. But like, so let's put it into they're better than some of the mid-tier Marvel films.
What did I say?
I think you said most of the Marvel films.
No, okay, I meant like the like a lot of the Marvel films.
Okay.
But like a lot of the Marvel films, like the first Captain America, like all of Fast and Furious.
I wasn't a huge fan
five-
of Cap 2.
Did you like Fast and Furious?
Blasphemy.
5 and 6 and 7 though? You haven't seen 7 yet, have you?
No, I've seen them all. Yeah.
You've seen 7, okay, cool, yeah. Did you like them
Um,
better than Captain America 2?
But do you know?
Yeah, you did. You just don't want. You don't want to say.
No.
Right,
I'm trying to remember which one was which. Like who were the bad guys? So it was Statham in 7.
Yeah.
It was the dude from Lord of the Rings in 6.
Yeah.
Sauron.
So who was 5? Oh, that was when The Rock was just
That's right,
introduced.
yeah,
so it's-
yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are the most ridiculous films you will ever see.
But
Ever.
really good fun.
Yeah. Do you know, I think part of the problem is that I think Vin Diesel, I'm kind of over him a little bit
Yeah.
now. His shtick.
He's got to be getting
No,
old,
it's
right?
amazing.
I like The Rock in them. The
Rock's
cool.
brilliant though.
But also the fact that Paul Walker's not around anymore is
that's
like,
really sad.
I don't know how on earth they can continue without him. Because he was most of the other people that are in it are idiots. Whereas he was like likable.
I can't believe we're over Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, like his Facebook. There was a time where I would check his Facebook before I check my work emails. Not when I work.
I think
don't
you
worry.
talked about
Like,
this, yeah.
His Facebook is just incredible. It's just like videos of him just dancing. He does not give a shit. Like it's just
I
a
wanna
man
get
who
to
just
that point.
doesn't care. This is like a video of him dancing to a Katy Perry song. But like he doesn't just dance to a little bit of it. Oh no. He dances the entire thing. And you see him like walking up to his computer, pressing play on iTunes, then like walking back so he's in the frame of the camera. And he's just like dancing for the entire thing. Then he walks back up and he just presses off.
So he doesn't edit
He doesn't
it?
edit it at all. He sticks it up. Sometimes he does edit it and he puts like text and stuff on things.
Right.
But he uses like, I don't know, like Movie Maker or something like that to do it. But it's so funny. But anyway,
It's
we're
the,
talking
kind
about...
of, it's the kind of thing that I would expect him to do.
I'll have you know, all my dancing
I'll have you know,
videos,
I know
I
how to
trim
edit.
the start and beginning. Yes, I will not
Apart
be
from the one
seeing-
that we popped up on the
Yeah.
site.
Well, which one?
No, we didn't actually.
Oh,
put it on the
okay.
Yeah,
site,
But talking about the ice cream
let's
one.
go back to
Your
Wes
ice cream
let's,
dance.
Yeah.
let's go back to Wes Craven.
Sorry. Yes.
But yeah, no,
Love it.
Wes Craven, like, I don't know, he's responsible for a lot of my sleepless nights as a kid. And I think, like, well, no, because, like, I watched
Like,
so
it's,
much...
it's a funny way of phrasing it.
It is, yeah.
Because Jimmy Savile too.
But yeah, we had some just a quick email from Goji Gonzalez who says, Gav, I think we killed Wes Craven with all our shit talking on Scream 4. Uh-oh. So last week I was talking about how Scream 4 isn't very good.
You almost killed Harrison Ford as well. You need to be careful.
My words have almost killed Harrison Ford and now killed Wes Craven. So yeah, by putting this out, who's next? I don't know. Hopefully not Vin Diesel.
So
God.
did Wes Craven do all of the Screams?
No.
Oh, okay. So you were just
Oh, I don't think so.
criticising Scream 4.
Yeah, but I guess it's the thing. Maybe check that. Let's check that.
Like, Scream 1 was good. I literally couldn't tell you about any of the other Screams.
Yeah.
But yeah, same like I Know What You Did Last Summer. All those kind of films came out around the same time. It was like, ugh.
I kind of know the Screams like really well for some reason. I don't know why. I think I just thought they were really, really cool because it was like, for me, is one of the first things I can remember talking about films within films.
Yeah.
Like I was a massive film nerd, so like them referencing, because I was really into Friday the 13th, and them
director Wes Craven.
Directing them all, yeah.
Wow. Well, he did 4.
Yeah. But just them talking about Friday the 13th inside Scream as if something else. Like for me, it was like the first time I can remember that kind of stuff happening.
Like a really meta idea. That's cool.
And if you've watched that, the Nightmare on Elm Street, which is about them making Nightmare on Elm Street, making a Nightmare on Elm Street, you go, that's just incredible. Like Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. And it's just like, when you watch that now, so many, even watching stuff like Entourage and things like that, like they're taking stuff directly from that. Like they're completely influenced by that. I think that's huge. And Wes Craven knew that.
He did direct all of them.
He did direct all of them.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There you go.
Good on him. I'm sorry I slagged off Scream 4 and killed you, sir.
You bastard.
I know.
Sad times.
Should we go on some other feedback then?
Yes. So Scott Zeal writes in from Rugby in England.
Yes.
Saying when one of the most recent Resident Evil films came out.
Oh, so this is about what we're talking about. It's
Walking Out.
Yeah, we talked about last week about.
Sorry, yes, yeah.
Have you ever walked out of a film?
Yeah.
So most recent Resident Evil film came out. My friend and I bought tickets for a different film because we weren't 18, but they snuck into Resident Evil to see it.
All right.
It was the first horror film I've ever watched, bar scary stuff in video games. And once the lights went down...
Video games aren't films, so it still is.
Once
How
the
do you
lights,
walk out of
just
a video
let
game?
me finish the story. And once the lights went down, the whole atmosphere and terror got to us. After 40-odd minutes, we both felt incredibly embarrassed and left.
So they didn't walk out because they were shit. They walked out because they were scared. They walked out because they were shitting themselves.
Of a Resident Evil film as well, which
oh
surely
my
isn't
God.
scary.
No,
they're
they're
scary.
not.
But I don't know how old Scott is.
I think he's 11 this
he
month.
said he wasn't 18, so now he must be 18
At the time,
I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first kind of horror film you saw?
Scream 3.
Was it?
Generally, yeah. I snuck in to see Scream 3.
Does Alien count as a horror film?
Yeah, I
'Cause
guess
it's pretty
so.
horrific.
Yeah, Alien
Like
does.
I
Totally
remember,
does,
like
yeah.
my dad showed me that when I was 13. I was
In the cinema?
No.
Oh, right. No. Yeah.
I had a day off sick, and he got a Laserdisc player, and he got Alien
Right.
for it, and not much else.
Yeah.
So he popped that on, and it's just like, holy shit! Like this chest burster coming out.
Yeah, that's not good.
Great.
You've got a sore stomach, and you're like, oh, this could be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
That's
like,
what
yeah,
you got
no.
to do on your sick days. I had to watch educational TV.
Really?
No, Scream.
Yeah.
No, really.
Yeah.
Scream 3 in the cinema. That was the first horror film that I remember seeing in the cinema. If you don't count Terminator 2, which
So
my
I
dad took
think
me to see.
it was Scream 1 for me,
Yeah.
because I haven't seen that many horror films.
Yeah. Because you're afraid of them. Or...
It's just not my thing.
Yeah. Rory? Yours is going to be like Scary Movie 4 or something like that, isn't it?
I'm trying to. I never really saw a lot of horror films in the cinema because I think I was one of those people that was always too afraid to say that I was really afraid at horror films. So I was like, let's go see a comedy. Like, come on, guys. So I think like the first one I remember seeing that really scared me was maybe The Grudge. I think I went to see
that's
The Grudge.
really scary.
And it's just like, whoa, really scary.
Yeah.
Like kind of watching through your eyes, or you'd like yawn and put your fingers in your ears. So
Yeah.
you, like I was freaking out.
Well, The Grudge does that really awesome thing where, like, it takes. Well, the original does. I can't remember the remake, but the original takes the thing of like, you know, when you're a kid and you're afraid and you pull the sheet up over your head.
Yeah.
Well, The Grudge is an amazing thing with that. Where like she can hear this like noise, pulls the sheet up over her head. It doesn't make a difference because the kid is underneath the sheet.
Yeah, it's friggin' yeah.
It's like,
So don't put-
all right, you're just
imagine
taking a
putting your
safe haven away from me now.
Imagine putting your shirt up and you look down and they're like coming up. Like there's no escape.
Blue Asian dude inside your thing. Yeah. That's really
Yeah,
good.
oh, it's scary.
All right, Dane McDowell writes in on the subject of film walkouts. The first film I ever walked out on was The Mummy Tomb with the Dragon Emperor.
Oh my god.
I enjoyed the first one quite a lot and went in quite optimistic, thinking it can't be as bad as The Mummy Returns. Well, yeah. The exact moment I walked out was when the ugly CGI Jet Li turned into an ugly CGI dragon. Dreadful, dreadful stuff. That's Dane from Australia. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That is bad. Kevin McGinley from Glasgow says, Hi guys, the only film I can remember walking out of was Year One starring Jack Black. The film was so bad that I had fallen asleep about 10 minutes in and my girlfriend woke me up about halfway through because we were the only 2 people left in the cinema. I also wanted to walk out of Bruno, but we were there with another couple who wanted to stay.
He goes on about couples and girlfriends quite a lot. All right, dude, we get you got a girlfriend, right?
Jeez.
Yeah, Year One is awful. I think I watched that on DVD and I never finished it.
I don't think I've ever walked out of a film at the cinema.
I'm sure I have, but I can't remember what it was. I was saying last week, basically, I was very, very close to walking out of Trainwreck.
Right.
Because it's awful.
Just that bad.
But
Because I fell asleep during a massive portion of Sin City, but that's because I was drunk.
yeah, that's not Sin City's fault. That's good.
Yeah, but I've never seen it since.
Really?
Yeah, it was quite slow, quite boring.
I like it. But you think you would have walked out?
No, I just was tired.
I've fallen asleep a bunch of times. I fell asleep during Man of Steel for a good long while. Avatar, same thing as well. Yeah.
I fell asleep in Age of Ultron, but it was the second time I saw it.
Right.
So
I've not seen it.
Just couldn't do it.
So Doug Fratatis writes in from Texas.
Awesome.
The only movie I walked out of is Shanghai Nights. The girl I was with, he's got a girlfriend as well, Gav.
Jesus.
A lot
was
of
bored by
popular
the
guys.
film, and I wasn't so impressed that I wanted to stick around. Fair enough.
That's all right.
Short and sweet.
Yeah. That's
Shanghai
fine.
Nights. Look, you've got to realise if you're going to go and see a film like that, then it's your own fault.
It's
quite
probably
frankly.
going to be shit.
Yes. And if you're going to waste 10 quid a ticket or whatever it might be, then I have no
The thing is,
sympathy.
like, we forget that we have the nice thing of being in London because, you know, we have cinemas everywhere with like 5-6 films on. Whereas, like, where I went to uni in Aberystwyth, there was 2 cinemas there, but one actual cinema. There was one art centre. Right. And, like, sometimes you get, like, Van Helsing for 2 weeks.
Right.
And it's like, you're going to, you know, if you really like going to the cinema, you're going to end up seeing every single thing that cinema shows. So, yeah, like, there was a period of, from, like, 2003 to 2006 or 7 when I was at uni, I saw everything that was out because I was just like, I really like going to the cinema. I was like, oh, Van Helsing's on for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Better go see that then.
Yeah.
I've never seen Van Helsing.
It's
I
awful.
remember
Don't.
but I remember at the time before it came out going, I really want to see Van
Yeah,
Helsing.
it's a cool idea.
And then,
Yeah, don't bother.
Oh, well.
Rory, you got number 5?
I do have number 5.
What's this about?
This is from Andrew Smith, and he says, "Hello,
This is
guys."
about something else, though. It's on a new subject.
Oh, do we not want to do this one?
Yeah, but it's just tell them what it's about.
This
first.
is about cinema etiquette.
etiquette. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Etiquette.
So this is last week.
Hello,
Rory.
guys. I enjoyed.
No. Let's set it up. I thought you would do it, but you couldn't even say one of the words in the subject. So
I
basically,
misspoke.
this is about what we were talking about last week on the subject of people being awful in cinemas.
Yes.
And
Cinema etiquette.
I
That's what we were talking
I
about.
told a really horrible story about me in Scream 4, which ended up killing Wes Craven. This is what that's about.
Hello, guys. I enjoyed Gav's story about the bell end who's being a parasite at his cinema. Whew. This has come loaded.
Yeah.
Me and my friend went to see Straight Outta Compton on Friday after hearing great things from America and some potential Oscar buzz.
It's a bit too street, isn't it?
Unfortunately, the film was ruined by the rest of the cinema. Everyone was talking on their phones, shouting stuff because they think they're funny. What do you think cinemas should do to stop this? I think they should have an usher at each screening to make sure that everything is all right. It would also make it easier for people to find someone to report the problem to. Unfortunately, this probably won't happen because they're too busy employing people to sell popcorn instead. Cheers. Love the show.
I think they should have an usher there, but I think there should be like a zero tolerance policy.
Yeah.
I think
Like-
they should be shot.
Yeah, I think it literally like
Snipers on the
infrared
balconies
scope.
and yeah.
yeah. But I think like an actual thing that I think it should be a zero tolerance policy. I think like it should be treated like people getting barred from pubs. I think like if you're a dick and you don't stop being a dick, like, you're not allowed to go to that cinema anymore.
Yeah.
I think
Well, they do it
I
with
think that's fine.
theater. They have ushers, help people
Yeah.
in their seats, and if there's any disturbances, they're there to like take people out, quiet people down.
I guess theatre's a lot more
Yeah, I was
expensive.
going to say the margins, profit margins.
Well, I guess here
Yeah.
it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Not on the coast of Northern Ireland.
No, I guess not. But like, it's really hard. Like, I worked in a cinema for 4 days, and at that point there were ushers in there. You had to like actually say, you actually had to show people to their seats. Is when people did that. So people, I think then people were like, oh, okay, this is a real deal. It's like when cinema was actually like for me. It's like when I was a kid, like going to the cinema was huge.
Yeah.
Like a massive, massive thing. Whereas now people just do it anyway.
Bored on the weekend.
Like it's an
yeah.
actual thing that they just do all the time.
Yeah. There was that one cinema, I think it was in America, that they hired people to get dressed up in
Morph suits.
Black morph suits, and just like hide in the cinemas when people were like talking on their phones. They would just like sneak up behind them and tell them to go shh.
Yeah, but I always had an issue with that because I have a $0 tolerance policy, and I will get involved and go up to people and take their phones off them and stuff like that. But But I kind of stopped doing like really mental stuff because it was disrupting it for other people then as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of time people were just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to explain to people, and they were like, "Just shut up and sit down." Yeah. Whereas I think if someone in a morph suit came up behind them and said like, "Turn your phone off," then they would be screaming and you'd be looking around and be like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Yeah.
I think that is probably
don't
worse.
do that for horror films.
Yeah,
that would be
exactly.
terrifying.
Checking your phone, the glow is just like, put it away.
I had another argument. A lot of stuff happens to me in the cinema. I don't know why. I just attract it. But I was at a press screening of, what's Edgar Wright's last film that he did? The World's End.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a guy and his girlfriend sitting next to me who he works for, like quite a well-known film magazine in the UK. It's not Total Film.
Is it the other one?
It's the other one. And like he's quite well known in like that sort of thing. And his girlfriend was sitting next to me, and I could just see like the film started, and she was on a BlackBerry. And I was like, oh god. So I let it go for a bit. I thought maybe it's like an important email or something. It's not an excuse. And I was like, oh sorry, could you just not do that? And she was like, oh, I need to take this email. I was like, oh, can you go out in the foyer then? Because your thing's distracting. She was like, it's really important. I'm sorry, it's really important. She's like getting shirty with me. I was like, if it's that important, go out on the thing.
Yeah.
And the guy sort of ignored. I was like, no way is he going to be on his side. Like he's as someone who writes for a very well-known film magazine.
Yeah.
You've got to be on my side with this. And he was so, and he's like, what? He's like, why are you having to go there? I was like, she's on her BlackBerry, and I was thinking, tell her to go outside. I was like, can you please go outside? And he was just like, just chill out, man. And I was like, it's not about being chill. Yeah. What are you talking about? I was like, I've had 4 beers. I'm plenty chill.
So you nutted him. Smashed the BlackBerry.
But like, they just couldn't see why I was having a go. And she was like, she made a big thing of going like, oh, fine, I'm switching it off then. And I was like, yeah, good. Well done.
Should have done that. Should have done that when the film started.
Yeah. This is a really good one. It's from Kerry James, and this is the last point we've got on bad cinema experiences. And he also wanted to point out the last time his name was pronounced Seri. It's pronounced like Kerry. He said, no hard feelings, chaps. It's just Welsh. And I believe it was Luke who read it out.
Wasn't even me.
Faux Luke.
Exactly. But anyway, hey guys, after hearing Gav's bad cinema experience, I thought I'd share my dismal experience while watching The Bourne Legacy at cinema in Swansea with my wife. We decided.
He's got a wife?
Yeah, I know. We decided to get the 7 p.m. showing so we wouldn't be home late as we both had work the next day. Shortly after the film had started, we began to hear this guy talking to his mate. He thought he was whispering, but I can assure you he wasn't, because he was smashed out of his face and talking loads.
Oh no.
People began to give the odd shush, to which he loudly replied, sorry, in his drunken slur. Now this kept going on for about 20 minutes until an attendant came in and whispered to this guy and his mate that he'll send them out if they don't shut up. After the attendant left, the drunk guy stood up and shouted to everyone, sorry everyone, I'll stop talking. And with that, he sat down. Even, like, I've been in some states in the cinema, but I never do anything like this. With that, he sat down and then started talking to his mate again.
Oh my God.
Some people walked out, and within 5 minutes, the attendant was back in telling the man he had to leave. He was having none of it. With that, bang, the lights in the cinema came on. The screen goes black, and there's the attendant pointing for the drunk man to leave. Did he? Nope. His mate had now had enough of him, so he walked out.
No.
But the drunk guy decided to now go to sleep on the chairs. Everyone was telling the cinema attendant to just drag him out, but he kept saying, I'm not allowed to touch him, and there's no security here. By this point, all the kids in the cinema were taking selfies with the drunk and posting them online.
It's the Bourne whatever.
Bourne 15, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. And posting them online. I think that's brilliant. I'd love to see these photos. Next thing, this mountain of a man stands there, walks over to the drunk guy, shouts at him, grabs one of his legs and starts dragging him down the stairs. Another big guy grabs him too, and the two guys start carrying him out to cheers and applause from the audience. Once everyone has settled down, they dimmed the lights to start the movie again, but it decided to rewind the film by half an hour. So by the time it finished, it was gone midnight. I love it. He goes, we should have just gone to the show at 8:30.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But now you've got that story.
Extreme. Oh my God.
I think that's brilliant.
That's ridiculous.
It does sound like the kind of thing you would do.
It does, yeah. I really like. Please keep sending in your like stories of horrible cinema experiences because they make me smile.
Have you ever been banned from a pub?
Yes.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
What for?
Getting into a silly argument with a bouncer.
Okay.
and I've been banned from 2 pubs in my time for the exact same reason. And one of them was really recently.
Oh,
Really?
God.
Because, and I'll say very quickly, but it was a late bar. Both times, like, bars are up until like 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
And it was 10 to 3. And I bought 3 drinks for me and a friend and another friend. And it was, it was like 10 to 3. So I was like, oh, you guys still serving? They were like, yeah, we're still serving. Okay, cool. And then, so we got the drinks. By the time that I'd actually got back to them, it was like 2 minutes to 3. And then a bouncer came round as I got back with the drinks going, come on, drink up. And I was like, oh, mate, I've just bought these. Like, I'm not drinking them up. He's like, no, neck it, I'm taking them off you. And I was like, I'm not going to neck a pint at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that. And you don't need me to neck a pint in at 3 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, no, you've got to drink up. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And my mates were just like, come on, let's just drink. And I was like, no, I've just been served. Like, I asked them if they were still serving. Like, there's no way that they can just give us 10 minutes to drink a pint at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And it got really heated. And the guy was like, it basically ended with me taking my time drinking the pint. Him just standing there. I was like, "You can take it off me, if you want." And he tried to take it off me a bunch of times, and I didn't let him take it off me.
Oh my God!
And
you are that guy in the cinema.
I'm not.
But in a different environment.
I'm not. I was in the right.
He was like, "You have to drink up," and he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna sleep here then." And then Gavin took a little lie down on the seats.
So I took my time, drank it, and then he said, "You're not ever coming back in this pub again." So I was like, thank you, bye.
It's one of those things that I wonder how people can actually keep track of that stuff.
Well, I worked at a bar and we used to take photos of people.
Really?
Yeah, and it'd be like, do not serve this person. And you look at them, and they're behind the bar all the time. So you look at these pictures constantly. So when someone walks in, you're like, I recognize him. Why do I recognize him? And they're like, oh, right, that's why, because you spat at someone.
Okay. Fair enough.
They're like Western wanted posters. And you're like, you look awfully familiar.
You've never been banned from
I probably have. I think I might have been. Once.
What?
Yeah.
Just for doing what?
Getting like, I had like
push-ups.
I have friends like you, and I get caught up in a whole bunch of stuff
what do you
like
mean?
that.
I'm in the right.
I'd be one of the guys who's like, just neck the damn pint.
No.
Because there's no point.
Rory, where does it stop? Where do you draw the line?
What do you mean?
Got to stand up for this stuff.
What? Why would I need to stand
They
up to
can't
that?
serve you a drink and then not give you enough time to drink it. That's my thing.
I'm pretty sure this happened to me when I was out in Angel a couple months back.
Yeah.
And then by the end, like, me and the bartender were like, or not the bouncer, were like good friends.
Yeah,
they're like joking about.
I think that's the difference between me and you, bro. Like, to be honest, like, people like you, people dislike me. Like, I think that's what it is. You have a way about you, I do not.
There you go.
Okay.
Last piece of feedback from Lewis Potts, who's a big fan of the podcast and enjoys listening to ramble each week, especially Rory. Apparently, you remind him of himself.
Oh, that's
anyway
good.
So this month he moves into university accommodation and starts his 3-year course in media, culture and communication. Do you guys have any tips that you've heard or learnt from experience for university?
Was it what, for university?
For
How to deal with university?
I never went to university, so don't ask me.
Didn't you?
No.
There you go.
University of life.
That's him, mate.
Alex is a bit too street for university.
I don't know, like, to actually survive it, like, never be like a cheap ass. Always get your drink in at the bar. Like, don't be cheap with rounds and stuff. Like, don't, like, I had one guy who everyone hated because he would, like, we go out in a big group, and then the next day he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you owe me a pint from last night." Like, never be that guy.
People who keep track of.
People who keep track,
gosh.
never keep, but like, keep track of it in a way that, like, you know, if there's particular someone who never buys a round, then don't buy them a drink. But don't keep track of it in the sense of like, oh, I think you owe me a beer from now night. Like, don't be that guy. Everyone hates that guy.
That's awful. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's pretty much my advice for all of life, not just university.
Well, it's very true.
Yeah.
Like, I've worked places where it's the same thing, but like, where multiple people just like, it comes around to like, oh, I've just bought a round, and somebody else bought a round. Just gonna go to the toilet. Oh, gotta go and get some cash out, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's my 9.
Yeah.
And that was the one time that I really lost my cool in an office meeting when somebody accused me of not buying rounds.
Really?
You've heard about this?
I have.
I have heard about this as well. I'm not like a real human, so I don't really have a lot of tips for. Like, my university life was
every
like,
can counts. That should be yours.
That was a bit weird. Yeah, just like just
recycle.
Have a lot of fun, party a lot, because that's kind of what you're there for.
If you can, get a job at a bar.
Oof.
That's what my missus did. She
get
said
get a job at a bar, because you'll always make friends, because people want you to buy them drinks and you don't have to. people who you'll have a good team at the bar, hopefully, and you'll make friends with them for life.
Yeah, she said that's the best job she's ever had. Was working at a student union.
There you go.
When you're planning a party, don't make it an open invitation party on Facebook.
What?
That's my pro tip. If you're planning a party event on Facebook, don't make it open invitation, because those get really messy. So
did that ever happen to you? Or you just did it?
Yeah, we threw a '90s party and it got really wild.
Like how wild?
People weren't recycling their cans. There was chaos everywhere.
No, every can counts.
Exactly. I was trying to give bags to everyone and little tattoos, and they were having none of it. It was mad.
All right, wicked.
Right, that's feedback. A couple of things to finish up the podcast. So, Legends of Gaming. Sorry, it is Legends of Gaming. I always get it confused with the League of Legends. Legends of Gamer is taking place this weekend at Alexandra Palace, and we're going to live stream it on IGN. Cool, so you can see it there. But if you want to go along, I believe there are still tickets available. It's at Alexandra Palace. But if you can't make it, check out IGN. I think it's from 10:30 on Saturday.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good
people
YouTubers there
who are good at games. Yeah, being good at games.
Excellent.
And then finally, Podcast 300. Yay. I know that I've been promising that we were going to give details on this specifically for the last God knows how long.
I promised them last week as well, so you're making a liar out of me now.
Right. Just keeps going on.
You wouldn't believe how hard it is to find a venue to accommodate as many people as we can. So we are still trying. We are still aiming for the first or second week in October.
Cool.
And hopefully we all have details on next week's podcast. If we haven't, then I'm not going to be on it, and it'll be down to somebody else to tell the lie.
Sweet.
I think it's my turn to lie next.
Exactly.
So I'll
you
take
can't
it then.
lie.
I don't want to lie. My nose just gets bigger.
I don't want to hear a lie come out of your mouth ever, because it'll destroy my world.
You just turn to ash. Yeah. Be awful.
That's it for this week's podcast. Thank you, as always, for listening.
Should we end it with a three-way high five? Let's do it.
I'm gonna fist you.
This is with our bionic snake hands.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I broke my wrist.
Until next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.